About the book. This book is a transcribed sermon series, delivered with unpolished prophetic urgency by a minister who has walked through the fire of personal transition. What began as live messages to a congregation has been captured word for word, preserving the raw emotion, spontaneous prophecy, and confrontational honesty of a man compelled by God to speak against religious complacency. The reader is invited not into a neatly packaged theological study, but into a live encounter, complete with side stories, outbursts of praise, and moments of deep conviction. This transcription retains the authentic cadence of spoken word, making you feel as though you are sitting in the room as heaven shakes the pews and the Holy Spirit exposes the difference between dead religion and living glory. Part 1. Chapter 1, Prophetic Transition. This chapter begins with a simple but urgent truth: God moves His people from one place to another. Seasons change, assignments shift, and the Lord does not leave His people where they have been. Prophetic transition is the process of being led from one level of glory to the next. Even when that movement is difficult to recognize, it is still taking place. The question is not whether God is moving, but whether we are willing to move with Him. The burden behind this message comes out of deep personal frustration and deep personal surrender. There are moments in ministry when it would seem easier to withdraw from people altogether and simply work in private, removed from the weight of human need and conflict. Yet the call of God does not always permit retreat. When God assigns us to people, we cannot fulfill that calling by choosing isolation over obedience. Transition often presses us into places we would not have chosen for ourselves, but those very places become the ground where our calling is clarified. Some transitions are so profound that others cannot fully understand them. They involve loss, misunderstanding, spiritual warfare, and the painful discipline of letting God complete what He has begun. Yet if we submit to that process, we do not emerge unchanged. We come out with a different strength, a different posture, and a different readiness for what lies ahead. Spiritual transition is never merely about leaving one place, it is about being prepared for the next. For that reason, it is important to understand the keys to walking through transition well. Whether we recognize it or not, we are all moving. Sometimes the movement is obvious, and sometimes it feels hidden beneath confusion, delay, or uncertainty. We may feel stalled when God is actually repositioning us. We may feel lost when we are in fact being led. One of the first lessons of transition is learning not to measure spiritual progress only by what we can immediately see or feel. This hunger for transition is connected to a larger burden for the church. Many believers sense that something is missing. They attend services, conferences, and gatherings, yet leave spiritually dry rather than spiritually filled. The issue is not merely activity, presentation, or programming. The deeper issue is the absence of satisfying, life-giving communion with God. When the people of God are not truly fed, the ache for more becomes impossible to ignore. That ache should not be dismissed. Holy hunger is a gift. In many parts of the world, people gather in great numbers because they are desperate for God and expect Him to move. Their hunger creates room for encounter. By contrast, spiritual familiarity can dull our need. When comfort replaces desperation, it becomes possible to maintain religious form while losing living dependence